Are you curious about nomadic life, seasonal work, that type of lifestyle? Today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I've been absent from the YouTube world for about a month now. A, taking a little break. B, I've been traveling a lot to my new destination. But before I reveal where I'm at, let's talk about where I came from. Many of you probably know I spent the last 6 months in Big Bend National Park in West Texas. And as all things do, that season came to an end. And I was grateful and slightly qualified enough to obtain another position at yet another national park. Texas was great. Living in the desert was pretty awesome. But I'm happy to return to some woods. So right off the property where we live, I am less than a quarter of a mile again from my house. And my friends took me here last night and they call it Employee Rock. I'm pretty sure that's not an official name. But let me just show you what I got in my backyard. So right over in here is the North Rim itself. If you can see out in the distance, those are the San Francisco mountains. And obviously right in front of your face is the full-on Grand Canyon and the South Rim. Last night we were out here around dark and you could see the tourist areas of the South Rim lighten up. And it's approximately straight across. Absolutely gorgeous. And despite the reviews of it being just one big hole, those are some real ignorant people that don't appreciate the beauty of something as grand as this. When I refer to seasonal work, I guess I'm not talking about going and picking beets for a few weeks or anything like that, which is lucrative and a good way to do it. I'm speaking more generally to the, I guess, hospitality / destination seasonal work. So the types of jobs you can get, at least for this company and a lot of other companies that operate within the boundaries of national parks, they're called concessionaires. In other words, they're contracted by the government. They are for-profit companies that come in and run retail, like all your gift shops out there. They run the restaurants, they run the lodging, and depending on where you're at, like where I'm at the North Rim, they have a saloon and a bar, and at this place, even an employee pub. So there's, housekeeping, front desk. Here has a recycling plant, so people work there. Dishwashing, cooks, retail workers. There's a lot of different options for jobs, but I wouldn't say any of them fall under the category of extremely rewarding. At least not in my opinion, because you're working with damn humans and tourists all the time. And sometimes that can be fun, but as you all know, customer service is not all that fun all the time. So why do I choose seasonal work? Well, first of all, you spend 6 to 7 months at a chosen location. In this case, obviously, not a bad one. And you get to spend those 6 months working, and most importantly, in my case, exploring and backpacking, becoming an expert on the area. Let's start by discussing some of the cons of seasonal work. We got to be honest about things. Number one is probably housing. It's a pro and a con. Pro being rent is super cheap. The con is I'm basically in a glorified dorm room, with the exception of the fact that I do have my own private bathroom. But I have no kitchen, no living room, so to speak. And I'm planted here for 6 months. And in my case, it works out perfect for me because they provide you with a bed to sleep on. And I don't have to own furniture. I don't own wall decor. I don't own any of that type of normal American housewares. But yes, living quarters are smaller than most people would be accustomed to. And if you don't travel with a partner or a close friend, you're susceptible to sleeping side by side in the same bedroom with a stranger / roommate. Financially speaking, it might not sound like a lot to make $17 or $18 an hour. But depending on the property you work for, life is cheap. Again, I pay about $150 a month for rent, or $5 a day to be specific. And in this property, you pay $10 a day for food, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they provide a lot of snacks. And if somebody was frugal and responsible, you could arguably probably go the entire season without purchasing groceries. So $10 a day to me is a bargain. And the meals here are fantastic. But I'll tell you, I've been to a couple other properties where you probably wouldn't even want to pay for the gruel they serve you. But this one so far, salad bar, fruits and vegetables, which you know I don't like. But it's nice to have something fresh to eat once in a while. And the main entrees have also been a delight in my first 2 days here. So I'm excited to be in a more hospitable place in terms of diet. Another con is, simply put, you don't know what's next for yourself on a 6-month basis. Now, it's May 1st here, and I am here until October 15th. And in October, I have no idea what's next for me. The hope is I wind up at another cool park like Big Bend for the winter season, but there's no guarantees on that. So you kind of got to fly by the seat of your pants and be willing to suffer some of the anxiety that comes with possible unemployment. Another con, especially early on in a seasonal lifestyle, may be that benefits are something you probably aren't going to receive. I have yet to get a health insurance plan for from this company, and I don't get vacation time yet. Now that's hopefully likely to change, as this will be my 3rd straight season with the company I'm working for right now. And after so many hours of working for them, they do provide benefits at a premium cost from what I've heard. But that is a huge risk if you're a responsible adult. I, however, am very irresponsible. So even though you don't get vacation time, there are ways to find time off. I saved up enough money this season to leave Big Bend around the 19th of April, giving me over 10 days to explore what's between the Grand Canyon and Big Bend, which was for me a few days in Carlsbad, New Mexico to kind of decompress from the season. Then we went to the Sedona area, which was extraordinarily beautiful, I must say, but very, very crowded and bougie as hell. So when we were there, I was a little bit off-put being in isolation for the whole winter out in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and then smack dab landing in a town with stoplights and shopping and all that good stuff. So we spent some time in Sedona in the Flagstaff area, camped a little bit in the National Forest, Cocachino National Forest, I believe it's called. And again, it was really, really beautiful, but crawling with people. So now here I am at the North Rim Grand Canyon, taking my morning hike. And it's beautiful because for the next 15 days, only employees are here. This park doesn't open until the 15th of May, giving us over 2 weeks to explore these trails without them being crowded with people as well. So in 5-6 month seasons, or 2.5 years of seasonal work, I think I got a pretty good pulse on what type of people you would expect. Now, my first season in the Badlands, I was super pumped because I figured it'd all be hippies and hikers. Well, unfortunately, I was wrong. It's all walks of life. That's not to say I haven't met some incredible people, but some people are just traveling to make money and live cheap. Some people are kind of like, I don't know, hopeless and just need to make enough money to continue their lives. And of course, with any luck, you find a few people that you can connect with that like to hike and backpack like I do. But if you're expecting it to be everybody like you, I was really wrong in thinking that initially. Another con is I have yet to be at a property with excellent phone signal. It's really hit or miss, and here I get no phone signal whatsoever when I step away from my Starlink internet, which is a good thing to have. But even here, I'm having troubles getting a strong signal with my Starlink. I tried to do my Hilltop podcast last night, and it kept glitching out on me despite showing that I had great internet speed. So it's not ideal. And if you're somebody that's really attached to your gaming or your electronics in general, it can get tough. Here, people walk out to a certain point from employee housing where you can get a couple of bars of phone signal just to call their loved ones or their friends. So that can be a challenge in the modern world. So even though a lot of us employees here are kind of front facing in front of the tourists and guests, and we get yelled at a lot for things that we have no control over. If you work customer service, I don't need to elaborate on that sentence. But you have a long day of, people maybe being not so awesome. And you get off work and you get to go decompress in a place like this. Come to this job, experience of a lifetime, lifelong friendships. All of those funny little sentences they use to entice you to come in. Well, as corny as they may sound, there's some truth to it. In fact, part of the reason I'm here in the Grand Canyon is because I met some friends in Big Bend, and after hanging out for a long time, we all decided to come to the North Rim together. And since most of them had been here last season, it really helped with my networking to get the job I got this year. So yes, there's some warm and fuzzy experiences with other people in these positions. And some people travel from park to park in groups, much like you would a circus. Matter of fact, I often say, we're basically one rung up the ladder from the traveling circus. So seasonal work, it's not for everybody. I'd be lying if I said it was all rainbows and unicorns. But for me, it's ideal because I get to explore areas like this for 6 months at a time. I'm looking forward to putting out a hell of a lot more videos this summer, both backpacking and gear and all the traditional things that are on my channel. And I'm excited to share it with you. And if you happen to be new to my channel, be sure and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see all of my further adventures moving forward. I'm excited to get out and explore a lot of this Kaibab Plateau. I'm excited to learn how to say that right.
Kaibab. Kaibab.
I think it's Kaibab though. And there's a lot to look forward to. See you real soon.